This man right here stood 6 feet 9 inches tall, weighed 317 pounds. He was from Marion, Arkansas, and he also was built from West Memphis, Arkansas. He was trained by Tojo Yamamoto, and he debuted around 1987. Now, he entered wrestling after an encounter with Randy Savage, the Macho Man, and his brother, Larry Poffo. Now, Larry Poffo was the guy who was known as the Genius, right? He made his debut as he teamed with Austin Idol and wrestled with the team of Nick Bockwinkel and Jerry Lawler. This when wrestling was in its own territories, not the global phenomenon as it is now. So he began his career in Continental Championship Wrestling under a mask under the name Lord Humongous. He won the NWA Southeastern Heavyweight Championship and went on to be the final title holder for that promotion. Later, he turned fan favorite after rekindling a kayfabe childhood friendship with Shane Douglas, and the two formed a tag team that captured the NWA Southeastern Tag Team Championship. He also competed in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he challenged Tatsumi Fujinami for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship under the name Vicious Warrior, but he did not win the title. And then he made a brief stint in the Dallas, Texas-based World Class Championship Wrestling. That was owned by the Von Erichs. You know, your Carries, your Kevins. So it was basically owned by the Von Erich family. That I remember watching World Class Championship Wrestling back in the day when that was a thing, right? Then he went to, actually, it was the World Class Championship Wrestling where he adopted the most notable name for him, Sid Vicious. Now, his real name is Sidney Raymond Udy. That's his real name, Sidney Raymond Udy. But when he did his brief stint in World Class Championship Wrestling, he was under the name Sid Vicious. He would take that name to WCW, right? He would take that name to WCW. And in there, he signed with WCW, retained the Sid Vicious name. He made his debut by beating Dwayne Bruce of WCW Pro. Now, he was originally slated as a singles wrestler, but he was eventually paired with Dan Spivey, and they became the Skyscrapers. He was managed by Teddy Long. The Skyscrapers, they feuded with the Steiner Brothers and the Road Warriors. During this time, he incorporated the power bomb as his finishing move. The team was short-lived, and Sid Vicious was eventually replaced by Me Mark Calloway, or famously known as The Undertaker. But The Undertaker came later when he signed with the WWF. But at the time when Mark Calloway, also known as The Undertaker, was in WCW, he was known as Mean Mark at that particular time. And then him and Dan Spivey came together to reform the Skyscrapers or whatever, right? So he suffered a broken rib, and the rib punctured a lung during the match with the Steiner brothers at the Clash of the Champions in 1989. Now, he was introduced on May 11th, 1990 edition of NWA Power Hour, and he was the newest member of the Four Horsemen. He was the muscle of the group. So he was initially brought in to counteract the strength of RoboCop at Capital Combat. His first televised match was a loss to Lex Luger at Clash of the Champions. And Then he feuded with Paul Orndorff, rest in peace. The Junkyard Dog, rest in peace also. So then we get to the attack on Sting, and this led to the 1990 World Heavyweight Championship match at Halloween Havoc. And when I was a kid, I was like 11 years old. I didn't have cable at the time or whatever. So this was the first time I got to see Sid Vicious in action. I remember during one of the promos where he attacked Sting and he powerbombed him on that stage. And if you remember back then, WCW had that long stage that connected to the ring. So the stage was elevated, and that stage was elevated and it connected to the ring. Well, during one of the promos, this where Sting got attacked by Sid Vicious. He got powerbombed on that stage. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, this dude, I mean, he is massive. Sid Vicious was massive. And as a kid, watching wrestling, I thought he was going to take that championship off Sting, man. You know what I'm saying? Sid Vicious was the ruler of the world, right? He was the ruler of the world. And he suffered that loss to Sting, no thanks to Barry Windham, right? So he eventually joined the WWF at the time. And when he joined the WWF, he was known as Sid Justice. And, when he came in to the WWF, he was the special guest referee for the main event of that year's SummerSlam. That's where the Ultimate Warrior teamed up with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan had the belt at the time, and they teamed up against Sergeant Slaughter, Colonel Mustafa, and General Adnan. And General Adnan just recently passed away a couple months ago, and that was a 3-on-2 handicap match. Shout out to the Black Spider for her donation, the Cash App. Appreciate you. Much love, honor, respect, and appreciation. She didn't leave a message, but I really do appreciate the donation. If you want to donate, the Cash App is $Freeway95 US. And there's the PayPal. Once again, shout out to the Black Spider for her donation, the Cash App. So that's the first time we saw, like I say, Sid Justice was during SummerSlam, where you had the Ultimate Warrior, you had Hulk Hogan, you had Colonel Mustafa, General Adnan, and Sergeant Slaughter. Yes, for those of you that may not be aware, Sid Vicious has passed away at the age of 63 years old. And I'll get to that in a second. Sid was in the Royal Rumble. Sid entered at number 29. That was the year that Ric Flair won the Royal Rumble. And then at that point, that specific Royal Rumble, whoever won the Rumble also won the WWF Championship. Because at that point, there was this massive tease of Ric Flair going against Hulk Hogan, because at the time, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan were like the two biggest names in wrestling. So there was this tease at many dark matches for Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan to go at it, but they eventually decided to go against it. Shout out to the Black Spider for a $5 super sticker. I appreciate you, my sister. So, make a long story short, Ric Flair wins the championship. He goes on to face Macho Man Randy Savage at, I think it was like WrestleMania 8. And Hulk Hogan goes on to face Sid Justice. That match ended in a disqualification when Papa Shango decided to insert himself in that equation, right? Now, for those of you who don't know who Papa Shango is, that's the same guy who is the guy that likes saying, we want to get on the Trade! That guy. That's the guy that was Papa Shango. For those of you who may not be aware who that was. Right? He was also known as Kama. And he's a WWE Hall of Famer and one of The Undertaker's best friends. He was the Godfather. That's right. Papa Shango was also known as the Godfather. Right? What's up, Dolomite? Hey, man, what's up, y'all? I see y'all up in here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button for me. So, he did a stint in WWF. He went back to WCW in 93, and he went back to the Sid Vicious name. And 93, Sid turned on Rob Parker, became a babyface, but this would be Sid's last appearance with WCW because he got released from his contract due to an incident with Arn Anderson. It had been planned for Sid to challenge the WCW champion Vader at that year's Starrcade, but Sid's departure removed him from the match, and then Ric Flair was inserted instead. He then went to the United States Wrestling Association in 94 to 96. He returned to WWF in 95, and then he aligned himself with Shawn Michaels and the $1 Million Corporation. Then he became the WWF champion in around 96. So it was around, let's see, it was around the Royal Rumble? No, that's when he lost the title to Shawn Michaels. It was Survivor Series. It was Survivor Series around 96. The Royal Rumble was 97. So around Survivor Series 96, he won his first WWF championship. And then somewhere between that, so between Survivor Series in 96, he lost the title, regained it, and then lost it again to The Undertaker at WrestleMania 13. Joined the independent circuit in 98, did some time in Mexico in 99, along with being with ECW, went to WCW again, and then he won the United States Championship for Chris Benoit, and then he lost the championship to Goldberg at Halloween Havoc. So he was one of the more feared wrestlers back in the day, man. And look, he was one of the first wrestlers I was like legitimately like scared of. I'm like, oh shit, this guy right here, man. This guy right here was like massive, man. That power bomb with, I mean, I've never seen nobody pick somebody up and just drop them down like that on that power bomb. Now we've seen other iterations of the power bomb. You know, Kevin Nash had his with the jackknife. We've seen other wrestlers hit people with the power bomb. Dave Batista, he had his Batista bomb, whatever. But Sid Vicious was the first one I've seen that come up with that move. He won the WCW championship for the second time around 2000. And then that was the time when, you know, WCW was, you know, passing that championship around like how you pass a turkey around the table on Thanksgiving. It was like, anybody want to win a championship? Just sign me up. So he finally retired from in-ring competition in 2017. He did make an appearance at one point or another at when WWF had hit everything was like they Raw 1000 episode he made a appearance. Um so around that time, he fought Heath Slater. That was about 2012. So he appeared right before the 1000 episode of Raw, and he appeared again on the actual 1000 episode of Raw. Now I remember that episode because I was on deployment and I was in Israel. I was actually in Israel on deployment during that time. So yeah, man, this is very sad. This is very sad. Now, why did he pass away? There was a Facebook post that the son of Sid Vicious wrote. He said that he was deeply saddened to share that his father has passed away after battling cancer for several years. He was a man of strength, love, kindness, and his presence will greatly be missed. We appreciate the thoughts and prayers as we grieve this loss. Details for a memorial service will be shared soon. WWE's put out a statement saying one of the most brutal superstars that ever terrorized WWE, the sadistic Sid, brought an intensity that few could ever hope to contain. Just ask the litany of ring legends who have incurred his wrath. A list that includes Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, Bret the Hitman Hart, and many more. If his imposing size and intimidating statue provided a physical advantage for the 6'9" superstar, the mind games he played against his opponents gave him a tactical edge. Though he initially introduced himself to the WWE Universe as the Honorable Sid Justice, he quickly manipulated others to get himself ahead. He lured an ally into his comfort zone only to betray him later on, that he did with the Hulkster or HBK, or he would simply try to get in the heads of rivals like Jake the Snake Roberts and The Undertaker. But was Sid as psycho as they say? His results in the squared circle speaks volumes about his strategy and skill. He was a two-time WWE champion, two-time WCW champion, a United States champion from the days he arrived at WCW as one of the half of the monolithic tag team, the Skyscrapers, from the moment he aligned himself with the Four Horsemen to the night he knocked off the Showstopper to win his first WWE title. Sid backed up his aggressive rants with authoritative performances in the ring. If not for a catastrophic in-ring leg injury that cut his championship aspirations short in 2001, his success will likely stacked up against the best in WWE history. He remains a larger-than-life superstar to all who saw him compete, with few, if any, looking for a rematch against the man who strived more than anyone to become the master and ruler of the world. So that was a statement from WWE. He should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why he's not, right? And Triple H, I hope Triple H does the right thing, because this man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. It's just too bad that he's not going to be able to walk that aisle and get that ring and, conduct a speech. And at WrestleMania 41, because I think WrestleMania 41, they have not announced where WrestleMania 41 is going to be at. They have not announced where WrestleMania 41 is going to be at. So wherever WrestleMania 41 is going to be located. Oh yeah, it's going to be in Vegas. What am I doing? WrestleMania 41 is going to be in Vegas. What the devil was I thinking? Anyway, so when WrestleMania 41 is going to be in Vegas, I was hoping that would be the time that Sid Vicious would come out and, do his, how he does his cross as much as when he get ready to hit somebody with that power bomb. I was hoping he would be able to do that one more time as a WWE Hall of Famer. And it's sad that all these legends are going away from us or whatever. And may he rest in peace. I'm going to the beauty of all of these guys, transitioning and whatever. There's nothing beautiful about it. Don't get me wrong, but the fact of the matter, that their performances will live forever in our memories and in the archives of YouTube videos, the WWE Network, right? That's on Peacock. Memories of other people. We have social media where you'll see clips of Sid Vicious wreaking havoc all over his competition. So even though he might be gone in the physical form, the spiritual essence will live forever among us. So, yeah, man, rest in peace to, Sid Vicious, man. Sid Justice, Psycho Sid, however you call him. And I'm going to leave you with this. We only have but a short amount of time on this earth. From the cradle to the grave, it's only a short amount of time. It may seem like forever based on decisions we might have made that might put us in a depressive state, might have lost somebody we really love, might not have contact with somebody or whatever. But, take this time out to reach out to whoever you love, whoever you care for, whoever that you adore, and just let them know how much you mean to them, because you don't know when the next time might be your last time. So whatever grudges that you might have towards somebody, get all that out the way, because like I said, you just don't know when your time is up, and you don't want to be lying on your deathbed saying, I wish I did this, and I wish I apologized to this person. I wish I'm able to accomplish what I need to accomplish, and I wish I didn't let things get in the way. Do what you have to do. Go all out. Don't be reckless about it, obviously, but take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'm not going to do my usual sign off, but what I will do is this. I love each and last. I'm getting tongue twisted. I love each and last every one of y'all. You guys mean a lot to me, right? And whenever we do get together again, we just appreciate what we have for the time that we are here, right? And on that note, I will catch you on another video. Salute to everybody, and I'm out of here.